Headline: Ron DeSantis drops out of the 2024 presidential race, endorses Trump. Florida governor withdraws from Republican race ahead of Tuesday's New Hampshire primary. And welcome back to the channel. I didn't think he was going to drop out this early, to be perfectly frank. And also, to be perfectly frank, I didn't think we'd be already selecting a candidate this early. I figured the campaign would go a little bit longer because as it stands now, there's only two left, Trump and Haley. And we'll see what happens in New Hampshire because I guess if Haley doesn't have a good showing, she may drop out as well. And then you got one and you got a rematch. There's a couple of key things I want to go over, though, with this stuff because I think it's important. And I want to state very clearly, I don't like any of these people. I'm not endorsing any of these people. And I want to make that really clear. For whatever reason, when you talk about politics or religion, people get really passionate and they just leave their brain at the door. I'm not that one. I'm not one of those people. And moreover, I like talking about politics actually quite a bit. It's fun. But I talk about it in a different way. I talk about communication, money, campaigns, these kind of things. And if you enjoy talking about politics in a way that's reasonable, you come to the right place. So the first one is take a look at what DeSantis said here. So this is saying, quote, "I am today suspending my campaign." That's from DeSantis in social media post. "It's clear to me that a majority of Republican primaries voters want to give Donald Trump another chance." And then he says here, because we can't go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear, right? So kind of going for that anti-establishment thing. And then this is a hit on Haley they try to go for, or a repackaged form of warmed over corporatism that Nikki Haley represents. So that's pretty interesting. And the funniest thing about this is, from the DeSantis point of view or, voter point of view, is they're trying to make the case of, okay, so Trump's not like other politicians, which I would agree. And then the funny thing is like usually people who really like Trump say, I like Trump because he's a businessman, right, et cetera. And then when they try to hit Haley, they're like, well, if you vote for Haley, she represents business. So I just find that really funny, if you guys understand what I'm saying here, where if you like these, Trump, you're saying I voted for he's pro-business or business person, but I don't like Haley because she's a business person. So I just find that really amusing. Moreover, this is something that I really wanted to bring up. This is the headline here. Reliance on Super PAC causes headaches for Ron DeSantis campaign. This was an article back on September 11th. And I want to state very clearly, it's not Ron DeSantis regarding these PAC, it's Political Action Committee. You can find several articles. I'm showing you guys one just so you guys know that they all do it. First look, Biden Super PAC joins fall advertising fray. Here's another one. Trump's $100 million PAC has burned through nearly all its cash. Here's another one. Haley trenches Trump in Super PAC spending in New Hampshire. No. So why are we talking about these PAC/political campaigns? I'm bringing this up because I feel like this is what's broken with the American political system. Let me read through this thing and it'll make sense to you. It says here, and this is on the article on DeSantis, as a super political action committee, right, the PAC or Super PAC, and he used the one called Never Back Down. I guess it's the one that he was using. So these PACs, they can accept unlimited amounts of money from donors. That's the key part right there. The PAC can accept unlimited amounts of money from donors. Some who give millions at a time, unlike a campaign that faces individual donor limits. This right here for me, this should be a key issue that we talk about all day, every day in the USA. Okay. My point of view is and I'll just state this and ask you this question because I think it's a legitimate question. If you have two different people, and one person has a lot more money than another, right? So let's say it's a wealthy business owner or whatever. Should they be allowed to spend unlimited amounts of money to support their political candidate, whereas someone who's poor, say you or I don't own a company in the sense of, I don't own Microsoft. So by definition, I am not Bill Gates. But if we can't donate millions of dollars to our cause or our candidate, our voice is drowned out. And so, my opinion, I'm just giving you my personal opinion. I would like to live in a democracy where voters have equal say, but we don't really live in that world. If you have more money, you can get your message out more. And this, for me, is the fundamental problem with U.S. politics. So if you guys disagree with this thing, because the argument against would be, well, Bill Gates or whatever richest person in the world, they can donate as much money as they want because that's part of free speech. That's the argument against. But the thing is, though, like in our election laws, we already have this idea that an individual person has a limit that how much you can donate. Some candidates, and I know Bernie was one, and you could probably name me some other ones out there, and there might be some Republican side. Like I said, you can name, but some candidates say, hey, if you donate to my campaign, I only, limit your donations to $100 or something like that. You guys get the point of that. So this PAC thing is a real problem. And moreover, if you take a look at the spending in New Hampshire, so you have campaign spending, and then you have the super PAC spending here. And it looks like Haley, their super PAC they're spending like crazy, $24 million in New Hampshire. Her campaign only spends 4.7. Trump's campaign spending 7. Then the super PAC's paying 8.3. So I think Haley, I think the donors in the super PAC are just going all out to try to win New Hampshire. The basic gist of it is like the super PAC, the Political Action Committee, is not supposed to coordinate with the campaign. That's how they can get that unlimited money. But who knows what goes on behind closed doors. And that's again, I want to really emphasize that don't just think it's only Nikki Haley. Don't just think it's only Trump. Don't think it's only, DeSantis. Biden does this stuff too. They all do it, right? That's why I said our whole system is broken. So wanted to bring that to your attention because it's really problematic. Moreover, regarding the whole DeSantis situation, he's not an idiot. He's actually really quite bright, but he pretends he's dumb. And that's something I've really disliked about him. And I'll just tell you, like I'm looking at his, resume. He got an undergrad from Yale, Harvard law degree, served in the Navy in the JAG Corps. So he's basically a lawyer in the Navy. I consider doing that myself. Actually, I joined the Navy, but I didn't do the JAG, but I'm saying I consider JAG. And so I know what this stuff is. And he just pretends to be dumb. So it bothers me because it just kind of says more about the state of USA than necessarily DeSantis, right? To win, you got to be dumb. And the other thing that sort of bugged me about DeSantis was he constantly was attacking Disney. And I understand, there's people out there like, oh, I hate Disney and blah, blah, blah. And, my opinion on this is like, if your party is supposed to be pro-business, stuff like that, like, why are you going after your biggest employer, like in the state, and basically, we don't need your jobs. Take your jobs out of Florida, go somewhere else. Like that's essentially the message you're sending. And so I just want you to think of it a different way. Just imagine you're the governor in Michigan, and you're like, constantly ragging on Ford. Oh, Ford, you're so terrible. Get out of here. We don't like you, and stuff like that. And then Ford's like, fine, I'm just gonna go, to Illinois or whatever, right? So I always thought that was a bad move, and I could go on and on about what I don't like about DeSantis, but I don't blame him per se. I think it's more the voter base, and that's what your voters want. They want someone who pretends to be dumb. And I wanted to bring up this thing as well. The other thing too that's really troubling about the whole system right now. And guys, I do YouTube every day, so I understand some people like love Trump and all that stuff. That's fine. You have a right to your opinion. But I hope we can have some common ground and reasonable with discussions with this kind of stuff. That's why I like talking about it. So when Trump came out and says, you know what, I'm not going to participate in any other Republican debates, I just thought that was the biggest crock of hooey ever, and for real. And it just for me that just like the whole delegitimize our entire primary process. I just don't know how people can stand for that. And I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't think it's a crazy thing to say is like, hey, if you're going to have a primary election and you're running, the party should, require you, will recommend and definitely require you to come to the debates, like to have an open forum for discussion of politics. But he's just like, I'm not going. You can't make me. And it's like, okay. And then all the other candidates were just debating without him. I thought that was ridiculous. Moreover, to be perfectly fair, and I want to make it really obvious, why doesn't a Democrat come up and challenge Biden? I think Biden's really weak right now for any number of ways. I'll just read this kind of headline here. It's so ridiculous. U.S. says not at war with Houthis. Biden admits strikes not halting. So, I mean, that kind of, I just giving you one example. There's multiple examples, and if you want to hate on Biden, be my guest. Go all out. But why don't Democrats challenge Biden? Why doesn't the Democrat Party do that? Why don't we have a system where both parties have a legitimate primary every 4 years? And think of it this way. I was thinking about this in an analogy would be like, you run a professional sports team, say football, and you're going to pick a quarterback each season, right? And literally you have a competition to like, I'm going to pick the best quarterback. And if you were started last year, doesn't mean you're guaranteed to be started this year. In some countries, if you have like a parliamentary system, they'll just change their president whenever they want, or prime minister, I should say, sorry, prime minister whenever they want. They're just like, you know what, we had lost confidence in you, you're out, we're getting someone else. I don't know, we have this odd system in USA where like you have to like rally behind, you know, whoever's at the top, because I guess there's no other options. I find that so bizarre in a country, talking about USA, who prides itself on innovation and moving forward and stuff like that, to where the only two people that we can find are like really old and are deeply flawed candidates. Popularity ratings are under 50% for both these guys. It's so ridiculous. And then I also want to show you guys too, this is the current polling in New Hampshire. According to, I think it was a 538, so they usually have good polling over here. Trump is at 48.9, Haley's at 34.2, and DeSantis is 5.2. So Trump is under 50%. So theoretically, Haley could pull out a reasonable shot, or a victory. I said theoretically. I think it looks tough, but you never know. It's politics. You just really don't know. Because I thought DeSantis was going to get the nomination earlier, so you don't know. This was the Iowa results though. Trump had 51%. DeSantis had 21, and Haley had 19. For any of these kind of things, I always say the same thing to people. Don't complain, go vote. Right? Regardless of who wins, it's democracy, and as long as you have a vote and you express your opinion and stuff like that, I'll live with it. Right? I'm fine with that. So and this goes back to the last thing I want to mention, which I think is a really bad precedent, is Donald Trump has all these indictments against you because he tried to overturn the election, right? These are just facts. He tried to overturn the election. Now, if you love Trump, you'll try to debate, it's all fraudulent, et cetera, and whatever. But he tried to overturn the election. And I lived through Bush versus Al Gore, and there was a dispute at the end in Florida. And Gore could have kept fighting. He really could have. He had a legitimate case, but at the time, he's just like, it's just not going to be good for the country if I just drag this thing out and not just admit that, hey, the other guy beat me, even though basically it was a tie. But Gore was a big enough person to say, hey, the other guy beat me, and it'd be better if we just stop talking about that and say he's the president and move on. But we've had a former president run around the country telling everyone that the other guy's a cheater or a liar, etc., and calling our whole democracy fraudulent basically, and it's a massive problem. So I worry deeply about U.S. politics because I wish that we were more reasonable about our stuff. But I mean, there's multiple problems in here, and I just wanted to mention a couple things: money, the people that have to pretend to be dumb because you're appealing to the lowest common denominator, etc. And I could go on and on and on, but I just wanted to bring this stuff to your attention because I do think it's an important story that DeSantis drops out. We're down to 2. All the articles have been saying recently on the financial news is that big Wall Street donors have been backing Haley, and to be fair to voters, right? If Trump wins because he gets more voters and people like him, etc., and that would be, I guess, I'm just being honest with you, that'd be a victory for regular people opposed to Haley just getting a whole bunch of money from Wall Street, right? So sure, that's a fair hit on her. If you feel like that the PAC situation is that way, right? So you guys understand what I'm saying here? Because she did certainly, I can see the numbers right here for myself. Certainly her super PAC is spending a ton of money to try to get her to win. And this is something that I wish we could figure out a way to remove money out of politics. I'm not a fan of Haley either, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if we make this video make it sound like I like Haley. I don't really care for her that much either. But my just personal opinion is, given choices of anyone, I'll take anyone over Trump. So that is my opinion, because I just inspiring people to attack your own Capitol building. It's just unforgivable to me, and I don't even think he should be on the ballot. So that's I read the 14th Amendment, and I encourage you to read it for yourself as well, and we can have different opinion on that. But I just don't know how anyone can look at themselves in the mirror and say, oh yes, it was good that Trump inspired people to attack the Capitol. I just don't get it. But there's a lot of things I don't get about people's choices in life. I just try my best to be a reasonable person and have conversations. So I understand this can be emotional for a lot of people, but hopefully you can understand my point of view on these things, and I do appreciate your time. So I'll catch you all in the next video, and thanks for watching.